You love reading books and enjoy spending time at your local library. But who would have guessed it could transform into a nightmare after midnight? As the darkest hours unfold, navigate the eerie halls of the haunted library by relying on your knowledge, dwindling stamina, and defense to make it through the night. But can you? Escape the Living Library is a solo print-and-play game designed and published by PnP Time. It's a game that blends luck and strategy to provide a haunting experience as you run through the levels, dodge the traps set by the spirits, and escape the library alive. So, what are your objectives in the game? 1. To prevent your vitals from reaching zero, that is, your knowledge, stamina, defense, and of course, your HP. 2. To escape the library as soon as possible. The traps and the cost of lingering on the library floors will drain your vitals, so you'd better escape at lightning speed. 3. To make the best possible moves in each round. Every round challenges your decision-making skills, and the only way to escape the library is to make every move count. So, what are the components required for Escape the Living Library? You will need 6 d6 dice, 3 to represent your vitals, 2 for the dice chart, and 1 for yourself as the player. The value on your player die represents your HP. Next, you'll need a couple of tokens or an extra 7th die. It's up to you. This will be used for the reroll mechanism during the interval phase. Finally, the printable board. You can print it in A4, A3, letter, all legal sizes, or even print it out across 2 A4 or letter sheets and paste them together to create a larger board. For the tutorial, I printed the game in both A4 and A3 size. I recommend playing the game in a larger size for an enhanced gaming experience. The board is quite detailed and I feel the larger print really does justice to it. You can also print it in black and white and then color it. It can be an amazing experience. I spent hours coloring the black and white version with my team and we had a fantastic time. Now that the components are sorted, it's time to dive into the rules. If you take a look at the board, you'll notice it's divided into sections. The library, a segment for the vitals, the dice chart, and this segment is what we call the interval. The library consists of 6 floors, each representing a different segment: history, art, fiction, literature, science, and horror. This is where your journey begins. After surviving 6 levels of horror, you'll make your escape from the 6th floor through the exit. The spaces between the white lines represent each step that you'll take while moving through the library. And these are the traps set by the ghosts. Say, if you land on this trap, you will immediately lose 1 unit of knowledge. At the beginning of each level, it is indicated which vital stat will decrease at the end of each round. For example, in level 2, Art, your stamina will decrease by 1 unit for every turn you spend in this level. Say for level 1, History, your knowledge will decrease by 1 unit for every turn you spend in this level, and so on. One of the toughest levels is level 4, where each round you spend there costs you 1 unit of stamina, knowledge, and defense. At the start of levels 2 through 6, you'll encounter these elements, a plus symbol or the dice symbol or both together. In certain levels, you'll have the freedom to choose one, while in others, you won't. If you encounter or choose the plus symbol, you can increase any one of your vitals by 1 unit. It's up to you. While for the dice symbol, you need to roll a die and check what the number represents in the interval section of the board. It's a wild card. You may gain 3 vital units, gain 2 HP, or even lose 1 HP. As you go through the haunted library, the spirits of each section will challenge your knowledge, stamina, and defense. You must ensure that you don't run out of HP and the vitals. You lose the game if you run out of any one of the 3 vitals. Now, onto the dice chart that consists of 2 segments: gain or lose and double heat. The game starts with the player rolling the 2 dice allocated for the dice chart. If the 2 rolled dice show different values, then they will be allocated to the gain or lose section. 1 die will be placed in the gain section of the chart, while the other will be placed in the lose section. The player has the freedom to choose which vitals to increase or decrease during this mechanism, so it's recommended to think carefully before deciding where to place dice in this section. Once the 2 dice are allocated, the vitals will be affected and their values will be adjusted accordingly. If the 2 rolled dice show the same value, then you're in luck. The dice will be assigned to double heat. Through double heat, you can gain 3 units of vitals and also increase your HP. Unlike the gain or lose section, no decision making is required by the player in case of double heat. The values will be adjusted accordingly, after which you will roll the dice again for the next round. Now, the interval section consists of 2 parts. First, the dice segment. You will come across it at the beginning of certain levels. You need to roll a die and check what the number represents in the interval section of the board, as explained before. As for the star symbol, it will house the re-roll tokens or die. At the start of the game, place a token or die on top of this zone, which can be used to re-roll the die during the interval stage from levels 3 through 6. Okay, with that being said, let's go through the game step by step. First, set the difficulty level. There are 2 levels. At the difficulty level Tough, you get to start with 3 units of knowledge, stamina and defense, 3 HP and 2 reroll. While for the difficulty level Impossible, you start with 2 units of knowledge, stamina and defense along with 2 HP and 1 reroll. For this video, I'm opting for difficulty level Tough. Next, I'm placing the dice on the board. 3 for the vitals, 2 for the dice chart and 1 die for reroll, and 1 for navigation and showing my HP. Alright, 3 units of vitals, 2 for reroll, 3 for HP. I'm ready. I'll start the game by rolling the dice allocated for the dice chart. Let's talk about the most common scenario, rolling the dice with 2 different values. As discussed before, in that case we will head on to the gain and lose section. So after rolling comes the allocation phase. I rolled a 4 and a 5, so I'm gonna place the 5 in the gain section and the 4 in the lose section. So I'll gain 1 unit of stamina and lose 1 unit of defense. Okay, cool. Once I'm done allocating the dice, the vitals will be impacted. So from my 3 units, my stamina will be bumped, increased to 4, while my defense will drop to 2. Oopsies. Okay, I'm done with the roll, I'm done with the allocation, done with the impact. Next is movement, and you have 2 choices, that is the values you rolled on the dice. In my case it's 4 and 5. When navigating the library, you must manage 2 key factors: how quickly can you escape each level and how few traps you can land on. In this case I have 2 choices. Proceeding 4 steps forward, I'm avoiding the trap, but taking the slow route will eventually lead to more penalties. While the other is proceeding 5 steps forward. I land on this trap though and lose 1 unit of knowledge, but I'm increasing my chances of escaping the level faster. Okay, I'm opting for proceeding 4 steps, playing it safe. With roll, allocate, impact and the movement phase complete, the final phase is penalty. The round ends with a penalty, and you may encounter 2 types of penalties. Firstly, penalty from a trap. Once your movement is complete, you will deduct the vital corresponding to the trap you landed on, if you landed on 1, that is. Since I dodged traps this round, I'm safe. Number 2 is the floor penalty. You will incur a penalty for staying in the haunted library at each level, as indicated above the arrow at the start of every level. In level 1, you lose 1 unit of knowledge at the end of each round, so my knowledge will drop by 1 unit to 2. Now, it's important to note that you won't be penalized when you escape a level in a round. So if I move 6 steps next round and escape the floor, then there's no penalty at the end of the round. Whenever you enter a new level, you land on the first marker, indicated by either a plus, a dice symbol, or both. It's always the first step. Now, let's talk about the unique scenario when you roll a double. You have 1 in 6 chance of rolling a double, meaning the 2 dice showing the same value. If this happens, you head straight to the impact and benefit from double heat. No movement or penalty occurs when you roll a double, so you enjoy the impact, increase the corresponding vital or HP, and then proceed to the next round. In short, roll a double, enjoy the impact by increasing the vital or HP, and move on to the next round. So this is how each round of Escape the Living Library looks like. The left side represents when you roll dice of two different values, while the right side represents when you roll a double. Now let's talk about your HP. You can start the game with an HP of 3 in difficulty level tough, or 2 with difficulty level impossible. You lose the game if you run out of HP. If any of your vitals reach a value of 1 and are prompted to go below that, the deduction will be taken from your HP instead. Example, if your knowledge is currently at 1 and you step into a knowledge trap, your HP will decrease from 3 to 2. You can lose HP through the vitals or from an interval, like if you roll a 3 and 4 in the interval. You can gain HP through double heat by rolling a double 3 or double 5, or through rolling a 5 or 6 in an interval. As for rerolls, you'll only get 2 chances in difficulty level tough or 1 chance in difficulty level impossible to reroll the outcome of the dice during the interval phase. Use it wisely. These are game changers. Okay, time for some tips and tricks. Take your time with the gain or lose section. The outcome of the game heavily depends on how you manage this part. Keep a close eye on your vitals. Consider floor penalty for the upcoming level and then decide which vital to increase or decrease. Number 2. In each round, movement comes before penalty. Use this to your advantage, especially when escaping a level. Penalties do not apply when you escape a floor. Keep that in mind. Number 3. Know when to prioritize speed and when to focus on avoiding traps. Constantly falling into traps will deplete your vitals, while moving too slowly may lead to excessive floor penalties. Find the right balance and continuously adjust your strategy. Number 4. At the beginning of level 5, you have a great opportunity to recover your vitals or HP. It's risk-free, as rolling a 3 and 4 in the dice are skipped in this interval phase, so you'll either gain 3 units of vitals or 2 units of HP. This is crucial as the last 2 levels of the game are ruthless. Number 5. All hell breaks loose in level 5 and 6. You need to avoid traps as much as you need to keep up the pace. You lose 2 units of vitals at the end of every round you are in these levels, so speed up and escape the library while you can. So, do you have what it takes to escape the living library? Let's find out.